Quickish. Okay. Welcome to the TCAD 10-minute take. It is I, your host, Sheree L. Stewart, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Don, the Essential Worker Chambers, and I just found my headphones hanging from my microphone that I couldn't find for nothing, but they're right in front of my face. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
That could be age creeping up on you.
No. I refuse. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
Rebuke that.
So today's movie is the Netflix original that just dropped last week, starring Charlize Theron, The Old Guard.
Yes.
But before we get into it, make sure you click that subscribe, click that bell, click that like, share, watch it again. Crush that button, pound that bell, whatever.
Whatever it is you young people do nowadays, do it.
But as always, we'll have Mr. Chambers go first and go.
Boom. Okay, The Old Guard, starring Charlize Theron. Okay. Okay, so The Old Guard is about this group of immortals who it seems kind of consider themselves their own little army of 4 people and have been going around doing good deeds like Boy Scouts, and somehow that has been doing
murdery Boy Scouts.
Yeah, very murdery Boy Scouts, but their good deeds have led to like the people they've saved doing their own good deeds for mankind. You get the basic gist of it, though. Okay.
Right.
My first impression watching it, I was like, okay, I dig Charlize Theron. I think she can do good in some action. I didn't find a lot of the earlier action scenes that compelling. I thought the last one at the end in the building really got good. I thought it got very creative and very interesting. Mm-hmm. But earlier on, it was sort of blah for me. And then the other part I was wondering was, story-wise, I'm like, who are they hiding from?
Everyone.
And then if that's the case, I'm like, and then I never understood then why they did what they did. There's so many questions that I have. In other words,
yeah.
To find out, you sort of get a glimpse as to who each person was, although you don't really know who they were. And I kind of wanted to know that. I kind of wanted to know, how did they figure out they were immortal? Like, is there no rhyme or reason to it? Or are we supposed to believe it's kind of a random, sporadic thing that just happens? Which seems a little odd.
Like Highlander.
True. But I guess, hey, that can happen. It's just sort of like just a random, natural thing to where now you're immortal. There you go. And then the other thing is, not so much I couldn't wrap my head around it, but I thought it was just an interesting story choice that, okay, so they're immortal, so they're going to use their immortality to hide and fight and be like this little army, whereas I'm thinking, well, I would have thought the sheer weight of immortality might have taken a more darker turn on people, because it's kind of heavy that everyone you will ever love or ever get close to or ever know is just going to die in front of you. You are no doubt going to end up being a pariah within every society as to how are you. I mean, you're going to be a witch or some sort of witchcraft everywhere you go up until present time. And even present time, you are still going to be pushed away for the sheer fact of how are you never getting old, if you decide to have connections with people. So I would have thought that would have really made whoever is an immortal way more isolated, way darker, way more cynical than any of these people, although they sort of hinted that at least the cynicism with the Charlize Theron character. But they didn't go there, so I was like, okay. The Nile character, the young black lady, I forget her name.
Kiki Lane. She was in Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, okay. She was cool. I thought that was cool. I have a female of color as sort of like the other main character there. That's a nice, good choice. I don't think they gave her quite enough for me to do. I thought there might have been a bit more for her to do. I really sort of hope she might have had to like reconcile this with dealing with her family and having to kind of be in this life, or maybe she really just didn't want to and was really tried to go back to her normal life and didn't work. I mean, I was kind of hoping for more than that. The one thing I will say that kind of really, I don't know if it was a bad choice, but I really thought was odd, was she dies in battle and then kind of comes back, and then like I would have thought that all of her friends and teammates would have been like, holy shit, you're alive. I thought you were dead. How'd you met? I thought they would have been more like appreciative to having
less a-holes about it.
Seriously, like a fallen comrade is actually alive and not dead. But when she came back, they looked at her like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, ugh. To me, that threw me off. Like, right. I can only imagine if I'm a soldier and if I thought my partner had passed, but only to find out he's still alive, I'd be enthused. Like, holy crap, you're not dead.
I think they wanted to get in, not to interrupt you, but we were just talking about that in the main show, where it was a little bit of that, I don't want anybody else to have something I can't have. Like, that little insight into human nature that we think that doesn't exist, that maybe...
It's true. And you know what? You're probably right. But I saw that and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Like, maybe that's a little more realistic than we want to believe, that nobody's going to be happy for you.
And you very well could be right. Overall, for me, I thought it was okay.
Where do you put it on our scale?
All right. If I was to... I probably would save this for a weekday matinee. This would be a weekday, like a Tuesday matinee. You could sit down, have a drink and some popcorn. It'd be enjoyable, and like, all right. I definitely don't see it as like I'm going to see it first thing Friday evening and bring somebody with me to opening night. It's not all that. I mean, the fact that it was shown on Netflix is almost kind of perfect for it. You know, if I was to give it a number scale out of 10, 6.5, maybe 7, because again, the end part, that last battle, was very well done. It was very cool. I thought finally they're getting a little creative in how they battle. And I would think after being immortal for God knows how many years, you would get creative.
Right.
So I enjoyed that. The fact that... I don't know if necessarily it's a spoiler, but there seems to be
no spoilers. Your time's up.
Oh. I was just going to say, it seems to be there's going to be another one. I'm like... They
did leave room for a sequel, which was nice.
You know, so I'm like, okay, maybe in the sequel we can kind of get deeper into it. But, all right, that's me. I was...
All right. I liked it more than you did, obviously.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done, especially that, you know... I do feel like I don't know this graphic novel, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know it either. I'd have to,
So I don't know how much, it does seem like it would have benefited from being a little bit more involved with the backstories of each of the individual characters. Like, this would have been a really good limited series type thing.
Yep.
Could have been, because there's so much mythology and history and backstory with each of these characters.
Yeah.
It would have benefited from that, but possibly would get that in sequels if they decide to do more. I thought the acting was decent. Charlize Theron really held this movie together in a lot of places where it could have fallen apart because of just the quickness of the storytelling and not really getting too deeply into
it did move
the
fast.
mythology of it. It
moved
super fast.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of things that were yada yada over, like you said, like yada yada, we're immortal now, and yada yada yada, we're like now halfway across the globe in like a day, because they're immortal as far as they die and they come back like Highlander, but they're not super strong and they don't have any other powers or anything. So they're very human, and so they definitely yada 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 over a lot of stuff. But Charlize Theron's so strong an actress, you don't care that much as you should, or as much as you would otherwise. I think that the directing was good. It was Gina Pryce Bythewood who did Love and Basketball.
Yep.
She directed this, and I thought she did. I thought she did a great job. I thought it looked really good. You know, it was definitely some issues, and I want to say that was probably in the writing or the adaptation. It just maybe they sacrificed too much of the story for the action scenes. And like you said, like that last one was so good that maybe we didn't need a couple of the things in the middle.
Right.
That we could have gotten a little bit more of the backstory. But I definitely would have said, if this was in the theater, not opening night, but it definitely like full price ticket. Like I would have been, if I had paid like a normal nighttime ticket for it and saw it, I wouldn't have been mad. Have been mad about it. And there's definitely been some movies that I would have been mad at.
Oh,
this is one of them.
God, yeah. I mean, now I need to find that you say it's a comic, right?
Yeah.
I got to find that just to sort of see, like you're saying. What was sacrificed actually?
Yeah, because like Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, like I know they got most of it in there as far as his initial reasons for capturing them and then his reasons for like deciding where he was, but there could have been more, and I would have liked to seen more of his arc. And I know that I'm sure that that's probably in the graphic novel.
His arc at first, I'm thinking, okay, well,
it was weird.
It like, sort of left it hanging. Like, is that still happening, or is that in the past?
Yeah, it was like, weirdly truncated story arc. Which, if he was a lesser actor, would have been much more of a catastrophe.
That's true.
Than it was. So the casting in this was great.
It's good. Yeah, very good casting.
Like even all the other Immortals, like the casting in this was really excellent. It's just a matter of there were just some things like it felt unfinished as far as telling the whole story, which maybe they're leaving room for growth in a sequel.
Sure.
Which, if that's the scenario, then all right, I'm on board. Let's go.
and you know what? I will gladly watch the sequel, and for me, in hopes that okay, maybe this could clarify my questions for the first. It's like, oh, okay, all right,
yeah,
which can help make this like these. Well, I have a feeling if they do a second, Hollywood seems to have to be at least threes. It's probably a trilogy that they're really looking at. So maybe it can kind of make it a more cohesive trilogy sort of a deal. If that's where it looks like they're probably going, then I'm like, okay.
But it's on Netflix, so give it a watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You want to wrap it up?
Yes. Also, don't forget, you can give us a watch here on YouTube by hitting that subscribe, as well as the bell. Also, though, tcatnetwork.com links to all of our 10-minute takes, as well as our podcast episodes, as well as Good Morning Antioch, as well as the reading. It is all right there. So, by all means, don't forget to subscribe and like. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to watch. We will take a look at it. We will see what we can do in these Q-teen times, which are still going Rona crazy out there, but hopefully it will start to calm down. But as always, don't forget, hit and like. We will be back. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time. See ya.